Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, I'm going to introduce you to a couple of CSS packages that are coming with the upcoming Canvas starter site. In this video, we're going to be looking specifically at the MyListing dashboard light and dark mode CSS packages. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. Using WP Codebox, we're going to create two separate code snippets that I'll show you that you can easily toggle between the two, whether you want light mode or dark mode. We're also going to briefly touch on this global CSS package that you can also get from the club. And this is in its early stages. I'm not sure how much more we'll go into it, but yeah, it is available right now. And the main thing I want to drive home here is the color scheme that you're going to see in this video is derived from their system fonts. You may or may not even notice, but those are part of it. Fixing the MyListing's inaccessible typography is in there, and then the drop-down menu coloring the icons on hover, which is not available by default. So I wanted to briefly touch on that too, because that's kind of part of this. Okay, so what I've done is I've opened up each of these MyListing endpoints ahead of time in one tab, and then in another tab I've duplicated the tab, and we're going to toggle on these code snippets. So we're going to see the difference that they make. Okay. So let's quickly look first at the analytics endpoint. All right. So this is typically the first endpoint that you're going to see in the user menu. You'll see what MyListing does out of the box. You'll see this really small font down here. That is the inaccessible issue that it's an issue right now. It's the fonts are just too small. I'll show you the fix as part of the code snippet in that global snippet. But you can see backgrounds on the icons. The animation bars are kind of grayed out until you hover over them. These boxes up here at the top are defined actually in the listing stats settings of the theme options. So I already did that ahead of time. But you can color these individually or whatever you want to do. But this is what it's going to look like out of the box for the most part. Okay, it's light mode. That's how these MyListing sites are designed out of the box, and that's what you get. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and toggle this on now. I'm going to toggle on my global CSS, and I'm going to toggle on my MyListing dashboard light mode, and all of these can be mix and match. You don't have to do all light mode, all dark mode. You can mix and match however you want to do it with your site. I'm gonna go ahead and turn these on. So here's before in this, default out of the box MyListing, and then here is with the CSS. Okay, you'll see. I'll quickly toggle between these. You'll see the alignment gets better. Some of the fonts that I feel like need to get bolder get bolder. The icons get cleaner. The font sizes get fixed. That inaccessibility issue gets fixed. That sort of thing. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is the listings endpoint. Okay, I'm going to toggle over to my version here. So you see, again, the alignment's better, in my opinion. The bolding where you need to bold. Okay, let me reopen that. Okay. It just looks, let me go ahead and toggle this off because I accidentally clicked off of something. There we go. So now I've got it back. So just that easy. You can toggle between my version and the MyListing's default version. Okay, so this is what you get. You kind of see like these where it says created and then expires. It's kind of all blends together. Whereas you look at mine, I've bolded them a bit so they stand out. The delete button, it all looks the same, but here I've kind of, I've colored that delete button ahead of time. So it's kind of cautionary, that sort of thing. Okay. Just looks much, much cleaner in my opinion. Okay. So now let's look at the promotions. This is the before, the way MyListing does it. Again, you can't even really tell that the promo package here is a link or the order is a link to the order. These buttons are kind of uninspiring. Everything's just kind of uninspiring. And now look at it. Before, after, the alignment's there. I've shrunk the icons because they just don't need to be that big. I've made sure that you can tell that these are links. The buttons are better. Everything just looks cleaner. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Bookmarks. That's the before. Again, all these is kind of like lackluster. And then now, shrink the icon a little bit. Give that remove icon, some coloring there, so it's kind of like danger zone. So before and after. So not a whole lot. The border there I think looks kind of ugly, but now we've got like some box shadowing going on. All right, let's move on to orders. So this is the before. You've got that icon. I just don't like where the background is behind. The background color is behind the icons. That's just my view. These buttons again are kind of gray. I don't really like that. Now here's the after. Before and after. So some bolding in the headings up here, the table headings. Clean up the icons, put a little, this is on the other ones too, the other tabs too, but this little gray background behind the title. It's kind of a nice touch in my opinion. Now these buttons are styled much better, I think. So one more time, before and then after. Okay, let's move on to the subscriptions. So this is the before and this is after. You'll notice same thing, icons cleaned up. This right here you'll see is not great design, but I fixed that. Again, buttons are all uniform. They stand out. Moving on, this is the account setting, account endpoint. You'll see that this top box here is not the same width as these other boxes. An uninspiring gray icon down here. The font is too small because of the inaccessibility font issue that I've been talking about. These buttons down here are uninspiring. None of this is uniform as far as branding. Now you can check it out before and after. All these boxes have box shadows. They're clean and they're cleaned up. All the buttons are uniform now, and that sort of thing. And the last piece here before I just go through, well, actually, there's the toggling is going to get a little more complicated, so we got to kind of dive in and out of some of these settings, but you'll see what I mean. Before we do that, I want to show you. So here I am on the same website, but I'm logged in as a regular user. So if they were to click log out here, they're going to get presented with this right here we see at the top. This blue icon that doesn't match anything. This box that's got a weird shadowing and borders. Doesn't really look that great. And then you've got this link. You can't really, it's underlined, but you don't really know it's a link and it's not styled in any way really. But this is the after. So I've customized the message boxes to have this red box to kind of, border to draw attention to it. And I've also converted these links into buttons that match the overall branding and look of the whole dashboard. Okay. Just much better in my opinion. Okay, so now let's close some of these tabs because we're going to dive into a couple things here. The promote option for one. So this is the before. Actually, it's already promoted. Let's see. So I'm gonna just bear with me. I'm going to have to toggle off this snippet here a couple times. Here we go. So this is the default MyListing. If I click promote, you'll see the styling. It's just got a weird icon here, this weird purple color, that sort of thing. Okay. So now let me toggle back on the snippet. And let's click that same promote button. You'll see the difference. Before, after, everything's cleaned up. There's some hover effects here. This is a link that I've injected. It's on both of these, but it's just styled a little bit different. But this is a link that I inject into all of my promotion pop-up modals to links to a support page that explains what this stuff is about, because otherwise they're probably not gonna know. So just a big difference in my opinion. All right, let's get rid of those tabs. And then any messages that come up. So you saw that before with the log out. I'm going to show you again. So let's refresh this. And let's actually look at bookmarks. So here's our bookmarks. And this is the My Listings view. Now, if I remove this, you'll see again, just an uninspiring message box, a weird blue icon. It's just not that great. Okay. Now with this snippet, we actually don't have any bookmarks. Let me go, because I removed my last bookmark. Let me go add a bookmark real quick. Okay, so you saw the before. So this is the before, and then here's the after. Okay, just cleaner. It draws more attention to the box. It just cleans everything up. Just looks much better. All right, let's look at some orders. So the order screen. This is the before. Again, gray button, weird gray underline. Not a huge fan of this, what they call mark text, this highlighting. So before and after. This one I didn't actually change the mark for. Maybe I'll do that, I'm not really sure, but you'll see it in the dark mode where it changes. Okay, so before again, and after. Sorry, this is where I said bear with me as I keep toggling these on, because it's gonna, there we go. So before and after. Everything's cleaned up, everything's uniform, underlining all these headings. All the headings are uniform and how the text is. The buttons are all uniform, that sort of thing. Okay, subscriptions, I already showed you that one. Let's view our subscriptions. So this is the before, this is the after. You can see all those gray buttons again, weird gray underlines, and now you just see everything is cleaned up, everything is uniform. I did not mean to do that. Let's reactivate that. Okay, and then let's look at this is a sidebar. This is actually not part of these snippets. It's part of another one, which I'll do in another video. But we're going to look at the switch plan here. Okay, so if they click this is how they upgrade, downgrade the plan. And let me just do the before and after on this one. Okay, this is the before. Again, this is a separate code snippet, but we're just kind of it's kind of part of this, so I wanted to show you. So this is the before. There are lots of issues, as you can tell. This is the after. Really cleaned up, more modern looking, all of that good stuff, okay? Okay, so that's the switching of the plans, upgrading and downgrading of the plans. And then let's get into the account page. So this is the before. If you go and edit your billing address, okay, make sure we got the before there, and then I'm going to make sure I've got the after. So now I've got it enabled. There you go. Okay, so here's the before. Same thing, gray underlines, the asterisk button, the asterisks for the required fields, it's kind of dull, so it may be hard to see. You've got some alignment issues down here with the checkbox and that text and that sort of thing. Here's the after. Everything's cleaned up. We've got these asterisks with our accent color, our brand in there to pop and show that these fields are required. This checkbox down here is aligned. That alignment is fixed. All good, okay? Let's go back a level and let's look at add a payment method, okay? Let's refresh here. So this is the old way. So let's go add a payment. Okay, and then now I'm going to turn on this snippet and let's add a payment method this way. So before, you've got these weird shades. This is coming from WooCommerce. These weird shades of purple, grays, a purple button. it just looks horrible, okay? In my opinion. This is the after. Everything's cleaned up. It matches the branding before, after the button, everything's matching our branding, okay? That is that. Really quickly, because it's kind of part of this, is the icons. So I briefly mentioned this in the global snippet here. So this user dashboard menu, that's where this is coming from, which is to say when they hover over the menu items here, you see that icon changes color. That's not available by default. Okay, the other part is this menu. These icons color when you hover over them. That is not available by default. I mentioned to you and showed you before, with this on, all of the font sizes are fixed and accessible. It fixes that issue with MyListing. The system fonts, not a huge thing to mention here. It's just, you can read up on the system fonts on the club website, why that's in there. And then this is the color scheme that I will get into in another video, but that is what, when you look at these code snippets and you download them or you get a starter site or whatever, you'll notice in here, color is using variables. Nowhere in here is hex codes used. It's just calling these variables where you define them one time. So let's say, for example, the accent color. That's the same accent color that MyListing uses. So I should say the same concepts that MyListing uses. So when you go and you set your accent color here, it's the same methodology that MyListing uses. They apply this accent color all throughout your website and as a variable. So for this starter site, I've done the same principle. So now if you get this one of these code snippets or you get the starter site, you can go in here and quickly change the color one time, and it's gonna make those changes all throughout here. Okay, so really cool, really powerful stuff this time around. All right, I think that covers everything I needed to cover in this video. Like I said, when you get the starter site, if you get the starter site, it's going to be like this. The global is going to be turned on. The light mode version of everything is going to be the default. And then you can just come in here and change everything as you want. So the last bit here, and it's not little by any means, is the dark mode. Okay, so you're going to come in here and you're going to get these. The global is always going to stay on. Okay, so now let's toggle everything. Let's toggle the light mode off, and let's do dark mode, dashboard, and let's do dark mode, products. And again, you can mix and match these however you want. All right. Okay, so let's refresh the front end, and I'm not going to do a screen comparison this time around. I'm just going to go through these a little bit faster. Okay, so just that quick with that toggle, you go from light to dark. Okay, everything down to the minute detail has been styled. And as part of the guarantee, if you let me, the starter site guarantee, that is, if you let me know that there's something I missed styling wise, and you could also point it out somewhere, here on the live starter site, which is a little bit harder to do when it's this back end stuff. But if you notice something that I could have improved on, just let me know, and I'll help you and myself. We'll get it changed, okay, styling wise. All right, but again, like I said, everything down to the smallest detail has been accounted for here. Okay, so if you promote, this is all dark mode, all designed. What else? Promotions, these have all been designed dark mode wise. Bookmark, same thing. I'll go ahead and bookmark one of these for you. There we go. Good stuff. Orders, same thing. Everything's uniform. Down to the smallest detail. All right, let's go to subscriptions. View subscription. Let's say now we want to switch our plan. I have toggled on the product for the grouped listing product so that the switch plan is also in dark mode. So this has all been designed. Okay. What else do we have? We have account. So account details, if they want to edit the billing address. This is all uniform, looks good. If they want to add payment details, that all looks good. Good stuff. And let's see, last bit, we will look at the logout screen here. So this is logged in as a regular user. We'll go back here, they come over here, they click log out, and boom. Nice red outline, really drawing attention to it. Confirm you want to log out, and boom, they will log out. All right, guys. Hope you found this video useful and you're excited about the upcoming starter site and or the products that are coming from it. So I will catch you all on the next video. See ya.